parts of the spectrum, you can see the existence of these vibrations, frequencies, and energy. So I'm going to share with you some of the hertz, literal measurements of what some of the things that raise our frequencies and what the hertz look like. So first of all, COVID virus, oscillation means the speed at which it vibrates is called the oscillations. So its vibration is 5.5 hertz. That's how low it is. To give you an example, it is said that Yeshua, our Messiah, Yeshua, that his frequency was around 1,000, and that all messiahs, ma'adis, all saints, all divine personages, that their frequency is around 1,000. So COVID is 5.5, and it dies above 25.5. So high frequency kills and antidotes and nullifies low frequency, you know? So it's 5.5 and it dies around 25.5 hertz. For people with a higher vibration, infection is a minor irritant that will soon be eliminated. So that's why it's worthwhile keeping your vibrations at a high frequency. I'm going to mention some of the things you can use to do that. So the reason for low vibration can be all forms of fear, phobias, anxieties, stress, and tension, jealousy, anger, hate, greed, attachment, and pain. So we have to understand how to vibrate higher so that the lower frequencies does not weaken our immune system, or our vibration or spirit, as you would say. So the frequency of the earth today is around 27.4 hertz. But there are places that vibrate quite lower than that, like hospitals and health centers, prisons, and courthouses, in the underground, etc. Here, the vibrations drop to around 20 hertz or less. The virus becomes dangerous for people, all viruses become dangerous for people with low vibration. In other words, when you have an underlying health condition like diabetes type 2, heart disease, where your electricity goes down, your heart doesn't just pump blood, it pumps electricity around your body. So does the brain. Electrical impulses through the neurological world within you, a neurological system. While I'm on the subject of neurological system, it's important to note that the newest discovery around the gut is that the gut of human beings have just as much brain cells, which is your neurons, as there is in a dog or a cat exists in your stomach, in your gut. In other words, there is another brain in your gut. That's why they call it the second brain. And if you look carefully at the intestines, you'll see it looks very much like the anatomy, like the formation. It looks very similar to the brain. So back to hertz, pain oscillates at about 0.1 hertz, pain. That's why when people are in pain, they're in low frequency. Fear oscillates at about 0.2 hertz and goes up to around 2.2 hertz. Being irritated or in a state of tension gives you about 0.9 hertz to 6.8 hertz. Noise and people with a noisy spirit, people that are disturbance to the spirit, those people that are debatable, argumentative, being loud, they oscillate at around 0.6 to 2.2 hertz. Not much higher than pain. That's why we say there are pain in the rectum. And then we have things like moods, where we get moody and our behaviors change, low moods, and depression is also low, 0.6. And then pride is around 0.8 hertz. Superiority is 1.9 hertz. Superiority means egotistic, always boasting to try to make yourself better and higher than others. On the other hand, increased vibrations, this is what will raise your vibration. Increased vibrations are created in the following behaviors. Generosity is 95 hertz. Generosity is 95 hertz. Gratitude, just saying thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you, universe. Thank you, source. Thank you, whoever you hold your hands up to as the creator, as the most high, that is gratitude, and that's 95 hertz. In fact, I beg your pardon, generosity, giving something is 95. Gratitude is 150 hertz. So to be grateful many times of the day, just throughout the day, being grateful for whatever you can find a reason to be grateful for. Dear Lord, I'm grateful it's raining, but I'm not getting wet. Your frequency is going up because you found a reason to be grateful. Your frequency will go up. 150 is gratitude. Compassion is 150 or more. And the frequency of love and compassion for all living beings is equally 150 and more. Unconditional love and universal love, where you extend yourself even more, is 205 hertz. So I'm asking you all to increase your vibrations, love more, smile more, bless more. When we say bless you, really mean it. When I say to someone, bless you, I actually see light going out of my body into that person. I see light coming from the universe into that person. Bless you, bro. Bless you, bless. When you say love, actually send out the love. Don't say love, yeah, brother, yeah, brethren, yeah, blessed love, blessed love. Send the love. You understand me? So that when you send that love, what goes out from you comes back to you. You see, that's why it raises your frequency to express love. Sing and dance, those things raise frequency and vibrations. Yoga, Tai Chi, to meditate, to walk in the sun, the daylight, to walk around nature, enjoy nature, appreciate, love nature. Those things raise your frequency. And so, you know, I would say it's in our own capable hands to raise our frequencies. Let's stop moaning and find things to be grateful for, people to love, things to, you know, really sing about and dance about. There must be something. Things are not as bad as this society, and the vibrations that they like us to believe are extremely low. ELF, ELF, extremely low frequency. And so we need to be aware of frequency more. The food you eat, when you have to cook food for very long, it kills the frequency in your food. Foods that you don't have to cook, which are vegetables that's raw, and fruits, they have high frequency. Every time you cook the thing, you kill the thing. You put it in the microwave, you destroy the frequency. So try your best to keep your foods at high frequency, keep your moods and your nature, your behaviors at high frequency. Stop hating those that hate you, because then you get low frequency. That's why these messiahs said, forgive. Because I don't want to forgive. I really want to say, you're a bastard, you've done that to me, you deserve to suffer. But if that gives me a low frequency, then I forgive you, brother, and I forgive you, sister, selfishly, because I want to be oscillating at a high frequency. When you forgive, you don't take the burden on your own head. The burden that they done, they're the culprits, you're the victim, but you then suffer like the culprit by taking on the frequency that they are oscillating. So protect yourself by raising your frequencies and see what happens. Do it in the morning. You know, play yourself or read yourself Psalms 91. Your frequency will go straight up. Anxiety will go straight down.
Dr.
These
Walcott.
are the things. Breathe in and out. Say, thank you, Lord. I'm grateful for another day. I'm in this body, and, you know, many things don't work, but I want to be grateful for the things that work. And that raises your frequencies. And by raising your frequencies, all the bad mind people sending out bad mind vibrations, all the people that send out racist vibrations, you will protect yourself and bombard. And for those who are very destructive, you will create what's known as a boomerang. It goes straight back to them because your frequency is just too high. You're smiling, you're loving, you're caring, you're empathetic, you're sympathetic. These are frequencies that protect you. That's why some doctors go into an area where there are territory, where there are viruses, Ebola, all sorts of endemic and pandemic diseases with no inoculation, but because of their frequency to save lives and heal, they're protected by those frequencies. And so it is, Ashe.
Dr. Walcott, brother, you're just throwing bombs. You ain't even taking a chance to breathe in yet, brother.
I'm breathing in now. You're
landing, brother. Can I just say one or two quick things, brother?
Of course.
To the brothers and sisters, you just had a snippet of Dr. Walcott just there, just a snippet. If there's any questions, please put it in the Q&A box. Please put it in the Q&A box today. But Dr. Walker, what I wanted to say, because you've blown up so many cells within me just now. Are you saying, brother, in terms of, like, for example, you may have good food in front of you, but if you are not thankful for that food, can that same food harm you? Do you have to consciously give thanks before you eat any morsel of food, or good food is good food, whether you're thankful or not, King?
I'm so glad you asked that. It's worse than that. It's worse than that. It's much worse than that. It's this one. If you have something that's poisonous or toxic, and you put healthy things in that toxic thing, it changes everything toxic. And if you are toxic mentally, emotionally, vibrationally, and also physically, biochemically, then you're oscillating very low. And if you put healthy foods inside of you that's oscillating high, you can bring those foods to become toxic within you, because you change, you become what you eat, but if you're low, your food becomes you. And so you have to raise the vibrations through prayer over the food. To be grateful for the food is raising your frequency. To be grateful for the food is to realize that the food is about to become you. You eat it with a certain amount of grace, a certain amount. That's why we say grace the food. Then you become grace. It's not just the food that becomes grace, it's you. It's your mindset become, don't just nyam this food and cut and swallow. All of a sudden you become more appreciative that it was procured by someone, cooked by someone, obtained by someone. Someone made it possible. And the first person is the Most High, the people who got it, put it in the marketplace, made it available, people who bought it, cooked it, and so forth. That all becomes part of your gratitude kind of perspective. But if you give, here's the last analogy to Brother Andrew's question. There's an old ancient saying, it's very ancient, goes back for thousands of years, that if you feed a serpent milk and bananas, which are harmless, it will turn them into venom because it's a venomous snake. So we have to make sure that we are clean-hearted. I spoke to my mother yesterday, and whenever I speak to my mother, I have to fight back the tears, because she will tell you in any podium, she will make it clear, the very opening part of her speech will be, I'm not very educated. I can't read and write very well. I am actually not literate. I am illiterate. I didn't finish my schooling. But while she speaks, educated people will be streaming tears. She said this to me a couple of days ago. She said, Mark, the days we live in right now, many people will say end days, end of years, end of time, all kind of things. But it is simple. Whatever time it is, you need to make sure that you're wearing a breastplate of righteousness. That's the high frequency. A breastplate means you're not taking it off. So we need to wear a breastplate of righteousness in all our behaviors towards those who don't like us, those who hate us, so that we don't eat our food and we're carrying those bad vibes and change the frequency of the food because you're carrying a rotten thought. And that rotten thought is towards someone who's rotten and deserve whatever you're thinking of them, but you don't deserve it to come back to you, boomeranging back to you, because if you think ill, then you are, harboring, you are making your home, you're making your vessel, you're making your tabernacle, your temple, a place that holds and harbors, bad vibrations, low frequencies, and that becomes low energy, and it will change everything. You're the host, and you make things that come into you like you. So you should make yourself, like my mom said, a righteous. No one's pure, no one's perfect, but the Most High is not looking for perfection. Otherwise, we'd all be doomed. He's looking for effort. As you surrender unto me, I reward you accordingly. As you make one step towards me, I make 1,000 towards you. And I will tell many listeners now, if you don't start to do these things in this time, there was once upon a time, you could get a piggyback ride from mummy or daddy or loved one and so forth. Right now, it's very demanding that you have to carry that frequency, that breastplate of righteousness. You have to, because why? Because God won't help you. And when I say that statement, I say a lot now in the surgery to people who moan about what they have to do. I say, God won't help you. And all their faces switch to, what do you mean God won't help me? God helps everyone. No, he doesn't. He helps those who do what? Who help themselves. Because if he helped those who didn't help themselves, I want to have a word with him. Because there's millions, if not billions of people that's doing nothing, and he should help them as well. So he won't help you unless you're helping yourself. If your knees are in pain, walk for 5 minutes. He will help you because you're doing something. Don't sit for 5 years, because then he won't be able to help you. So raise your frequency, your vibrations. Make note of the things that and the people that, you know, has caused you so much pain, and make sure you don't harbor those thoughts. Call them and make peace, because to forgive is divine. That's why they said that. Forgive is divine, because there is a saying that attraction and repulsion breeds the same outcome. Attraction, I love money, I love money, I love money, I love money, I love money. You will attract money. I hate money. Money is the root of all evil. Money is the root of all evil. Money is the root of all evil. Money. What are you thinking about? You're thinking about money, but in a reverse. So you'll be poor. That's why they say the poor becomes poorer still. They're thinking about money, but they're thinking about it in a rotten, low frequency, low vibration, low vibrational rate of thinking of money doesn't bring you abundance. But people thinking about money with happiness and joy, with the good, righteous things they will do with it, brings it home very fast. Do that with your health. Think about the things you need to achieve mentally, physically, and actually make an attempt to do things towards it. Make a book, a journal. I walk for 5 minutes, and eventually that becomes 50 minutes. You know, I did meditation for 5 minutes, and that becomes meditation every day. Then the Most High will make thousands of steps towards you. You won't believe the miracle when you make the effort. You know, but if you don't make the effort, then what happens is, as they call him, the devil, you know, Satan, so many names for the adversary, the enemy of man, the enemy of the soul. He's there waiting for you at the finish line, always. So to finish properly, to finish fully, means you have to carry the Most High, not some of the way. You have to carry the Most High with you on that breastplate all the way, and you'll be secure, you'll be safe. Trust me on that.
Whoa, brother, I just wanted to let you just carry on. I don't want to interrupt you, King. You're just on the flow. You're on the flow, brother. So tell us, you spoke and you broke it down about how we can regain our frequency. You touched on that and you ripped it apart. But how does that, for those who are still following you, my King, how does that affect us? Because I know you spoke about it mentally, as well as really physically, in truth. But for those of us who've got, like, especially what they call the black man diseases or problems, diabetes, obesity, and those things there, how does what you're saying now tie with those, especially those things that come from the black community, high blood pressure, all them things there, King?
Right, thank you, brother. I just saw a clip of some of the products, food products that was on your screen just as I came on. And these weaponized foods are on the increase, and we can't keep up with them, just like we can't keep up with these viruses that they put in our digital devices from time to time. The iPhone and, you know, all these Androids and, you know, all these different companies have to be employing experts. So 24/7, they don't work 9 to 5. They work in 24/7, 365, you know, and what are they doing? Like the immune system, they're looking out for viruses in our technology that could shut down your phone, rob you of your data, rob you of your files and information and so forth. And so it's the same thing with these type of foods. They're weaponized foods with different E numbers, new stuff that you don't know, that your GP doesn't know. And so things like how you manage to keep away diabetes type 2 and many other diseases is to avoid these weaponized foods. Now, Brother Andrew mentioned something like within the Black race, within the Black nation, within our community, what is it that we gravitate towards mostly in our foods that's killing us? It's snacks. I've got patients that, you know, today I had a patient that reversed her diabetes type 2. She's probably watching. And she reversed her diabetes type 2. How do we know? Because her GP sent her for a blood test after following my protocols. She admitted and confessed today that she doesn't follow them, you know, ardently. She doesn't follow them strictly. She said, I cheat. Before I come in, she said, before I come into your surgery, I take the miracle tonic regularly. I do all this stuff to get a good, you know, a good report. But she said, I don't follow the food stuff properly. But then when I listen to her, what she called not properly, it's because I'm so strict. She thinks she's flopping and she's backslided, but she was doing quite well. So well that when I asked her, so, okay, how often do you exercise? She said, I exercise every day. I knew then that it was her anxiety was making her put herself down. I said, so when you say you break the food protocol, what do you mean? She said, well, I eat 2 crackers every now and again. I don't eat red meat, but maybe once in a blue moon, once in 2 months. And I realized then she wasn't so bad and saw the report from the GP saying that her HbA1c, she was now pre-diabetic. This is someone that was on metformin. And albeit that her blood sugars and her HbA1c blood tests was now not showing that she's diabetic, which is 48 and over. She was pre-diabetic, which is for 42 and less. She was 39. She was now gone into the pre-diabetic range. This is a patient that I've now reversed their diabetes. I do it all the time. I need you to know you don't have to be sick. She knows now. So when she came in today, I told her she's going to take 3 months and we're going to get her from pre-diabetes to no diabetes. Now, she also confessed that she loves her snacks, and so does lots of Black people, especially women. The crackers, the biscuits, the cakes, the chocolate. These are the silent killers. Because they say, but Dr. Mark, I don't eat so much of it. I just only eat so much. So I eat a bag of crisps every day. In the office, I eat some, you know, and I have a little slice of bread. It's the bread, it's the rice, it's the pasta, it's the potatoes, it's the crisps, it's eating some of the children's sweets as they eat. I have one patient confess that she's addicted to jelly babies. You know, it's these little things that are making you diabetic and keeping you diabetic. So here's a good list. So first and foremost is to stop all of them. Just like if you want to fill the bath water, you're going to have to put the plug in. So you're going to have to put the plug in your mouth with each